Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So I gotta say, we have a massive storm outside, and we may hear the winds and the rain beating against the window. So that's the organic nature of this show. Now, I understand you wrote two thrillers.
hmm
Before we get to that, though, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and how you got to the point where you wrote these books?
Sure, I appreciate it. I guess I'm first and foremost, I'm a dad of seven. Um, my wife and I only have four left at home, so we're feeling, like we're halfway there. Um, but as part of that, wanting to be able to still kind of manage what I had in my head for a career and what I've got. I'm in marketing and advertising now, so I write every day. I just happen to write for other people, and I always thought that there, there's got to be a book in me. I have all these ideas all the time. I try to put them down in notes, and then half the time I go back and I'm like, I don't even know what I meant by that sentence. But at the time, I was really excited about it. So I thought, I should just the next idea that comes to me, I'm going to write it. I'm going to figure out how to go from 0 to 90,000 words. And if it's good, great. And if it's not, at least I learned from it. And so that's kind of been my process so far. And as you said, I've written two and working on the next and just always trying to improve as I go.
Excellent. And I take it you're really enjoying it.
Oh, loving it, loving it, loving it.
Yeah.
I mean, at times, it gets, you know, it doesn't, I don't know that it matters how many books you've written. I think, you get to a point in every book and it's like, oh man, is this good? Should I keep going?
Mm, yeah.
I know what's going to happen. So I'm kind of not as excited, but then I got to remember, okay, the person reading won't know what's happening. So got to keep that excitement up, when I get to the, 45, 50,000 word range of the book. And, it is work, but it's a work of passion.
It is. One more question before we get to the books. Do you work with an outline, or some people call it a synopsis? Do you write things down in brief notes and before you actually approach writing a novel?
Yeah, I am definitely an outliner. I tried to just kind of wing it on my first attempts, and I think that's probably what stopped me and felt overwhelming. And I know there are writers who can do that and be super successful, but I realized that's not my nature. And so yes, I do. I do outline. I do know the ending before I write the beginning, but I also like to leave enough room within my outline so that if things take a turn that I wasn't expecting, that I can roll with it, so
Exactly.
it still feels organic.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I share your sentiment on that one.
Good.
So let's get to the first book you want to discuss. Which one will that be?
Yeah, my first book is a psychological thriller. It's A Killer Secret. And being my first book, it's very intimate. There's only three main characters there for the most part. The only characters. There's some other characters. I wouldn't even call them secondary though. They're kind of tertiary. And it really started with this question of, we all have secrets. Most are mundane. Most are just things that, we might be embarrassed if people find out. But what if there was a secret that you were willing to kill to keep? And so that's kind of where the idea sprung from. And so the story is about a young female um, psychologist. She's kind of in a place in her life where she's not sure she's doing what she should be doing with her life. She's not sure she's helping her patients. She's in a relationship with her um, business partner, mentor, much older psychologist, and she's not sure that's healthy for her. And then one day, in pops a new patient, and as they're starting to to know each other, he tells her that he is a serial killer and that he is actively um, stalking his next victim, and so that's where all the action kind of starts from there. And but like I said, it's kind of a very intimate look at the secrets that everyone has. All three of these main characters have secrets, and as their lives intertwine, their secrets slowly kind of seep out.
Mm, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can dig that. And how long is that book?
That's about they're both of the books I've written are about 90 to 95,000 words. Um, and I went into this thinking, okay, I can't write this epic novel, and I feel like those are mostly kind of in the fantasy realm too. But what feels comfortable to me? And I thought, oh, 80 to 100,000, and they just both of them have kind of landed in
Mhm. Yeah.
that spot.
When did you write that book?
That one came out December of 2019. I'm a very slow writer, so it was probably a 2.5 year process on that, just from germ of an idea to ready for people to buy.
Okay, cool. Did you have it edited professionally, or did you do it yourself?
Yeah, that was one of the things. I had set out. I intentionally wanted to be indie. And so I knew, as an independent author, there were only so many things I can or should do on my own. And so I've kind of, treated this as a business, and it's a side business right now. Hopefully it grows into something larger, but um, as a passion project, I wanted to make sure that when I put it out to the masses, that it was as correct as it could be. So yeah, I had professional edit, professional cover. I had lots of beta readers, especially on that first one, kind of comb through it and let me know if there were things that they were hung up on or didn't
Mhm.
understand or
Yeah.
just flat out hated.
Makes sense. And what was
Yeah,
that experience like?
it was great. The editing experience wasn't as bad as I had feared. Um, and the beta readers, for the most part, were kind of in tune with where I was going. The other thing that I used after A Killer Secret was out is reviews, and just seeing what people that I don't know thought of the book, and if there were anything that I should change as I go, for the next novel, or the things that I should look at. And I learned a few things there too. I feel like as an author, you need to be open, certainly to new experiences, because that's where story ideas come from, but open to what readers think, because ultimately I may write it for me, and I'm totally satisfied if I'm the only one who enjoys it, but I really would like other people to enjoy the experience as well.
Yeah, yeah. I take it as a self-contained book. There's no part two coming or a spin-off or
It
anything
is.
like that.
It was meant to be self-contained, but I left it a little bit open in case it in case people liked it. So I think I've gotten enough people to like it that's the next thing I'm working on, is kind of a part two to it for the characters that survived. They didn't all make it.
Okay. Well, your next book, The Fall of Faith, I believe it's called.
As I said, I tried listening to reviews and stuff, and one of the things that I heard was that A Killer Secret kind of started a little slow, and part of that was I purposely crafted it hoping it would be kind of this slow burning mystery suspense kind of thriller, but I also don't want it to be, my books to be so slow that people don't get into them, or give up a quarter of the way through. So for the Fall of Faith, I thought, okay, the action is going to start right in chapter one. I'm just going to, you know start and run and gun, and it'll be loaded with action. And I also wanted to go from, so in A Killer Secret, you get the points of view from those three main characters. The Fall of Faith is only written from one character's point of view, for no other reason than I want to keep stretching my writing abilities and try new things. And so the story for this one, the idea started again with this question of, is there, how far would you go to regain your faith in something bigger than yourself? and not necessarily religious faith, but just in faith in a relationship, or humanity, or community. And this is definitely, like I said, it's a domestic thriller. There's a bit of romance in this one. It's kind of really gritty. It is about lust and love and faith and the consequences of doing whatever it takes to survive. I think the story kind of revolves around the main character. His name is Jimmy. Um, he is an over the road trucker. He's divorced. His only companion is his dog. His truck breaks down in a small town in the middle of the United States called Eden, Missouri. And he quickly learns that though it's called Eden, it is nothing like its biblical namesake. Lots of colorful characters that he meets within the town, and falls in love with the wrong woman, um, as you happen to do when you're stuck, when your truck is stuck in a small town in the middle of nowhere. And really, kind of the the idea is, will he find that love? Will he make it out of Eden? Um, will he lose his faith in everything that he thought was important to him?
Okay. Well, religious or otherwise, when one loses their faith in something that they had faith before, that can be devastating for them. So I imagine this character is going through some difficult existential times in the process.
Yes, absolutely. My goal being a writer, I love thrillers and mysteries, and so that was kind of the genre that pulled me in. But I wanted to write stories that kind of stay with you afterwards. A lot of the thrillers or the mysteries I read are these super fast paced, amazing pieces of action fiction. But you get in, you get into it, you love it, you put it down, and for me, sometimes it's hard to remember what I just read, and so I want like that deeper layer in the books that I write. Now, whether I'm successful or not, I don't know, but that's kind of where I my sweet spot is.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you have a message or a theme of sort?
I do try to put a theme in each book, and again, not heavy-handed. The fall of faith kind of. I think that the through line theme is that faith can get you through a lot of darkness, and again, whether that's religious faith or just faith in the fact that you're doing what you think and know is right. And so that kind of comes through across the board. And then a killer secret, I think the theme there is, even at your darkest, you're um, still worth being here, still worth being loved. And so kind of have those throughout. But again, if you don't pick up on those as you read it and just enjoy it as a straight gritty thriller, that's fine with me too.
Mm. Sure. Yeah. Now, what's the response like and sales for these two books?
Sales are small. I've maybe sold about 200 copies combined for the two of them, which is again small, but I don't really do a lot of advertising. I've just started appearing on podcasts like yours this year. Um, I have Instagram and TikTok, and I kind of promote there, but I don't do a lot of paid advertising yet. A lot of word of mouth. I, my goal, I have this long term goal that by the time I retire, if I'm able to retire, who knows in this world, right? Uh, that um, this will allow me to not just continue writing because I love it, but it might be more than a side gig. And so I'm kind of thinking of it long term, trying to build that backlist so that when it is my time to do this full time, that I'll have a nice foundation to build on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's very possible. A lot of work on your part, though. I understand that folks have to go out into the public, maybe do some book signings, make yourself known, and however that's done. Have you considered doing anything like that?
Yeah, I've done a few book events. I've um, just helped create one that's happening. I don't know when this might air, but it's happening later this month in May, where I always try to promote myself and my books to independent bookstores and to libraries in the area. And so I was talking with one of the larger library systems in Missouri, and I asked them if they ever were open to events with indie authors, and they said sure, but we probably would need, because nobody knows you, which is very true. We'd probably need, at least 6 indie authors to kind of build this around. So I went and found 5 other Missouri mystery authors, got them involved, and so we're going to have a night of mystery writers at the St. Louis, Missouri library later this month. And so, everything I've been doing has been kind of localized for now. I figure, if I can build that local base, then that's something to build out on. But kind of have to have people know who I am locally first.
Yeah. Back to sales. Do you find that you sell more paperback or ebooks? Which one sells more?
That is a great question, and it's paperbacks, which totally surprised me. I went into this thinking, okay, I'm going to publish wide, so I'm not just on Amazon. I'm on all the um, big online stores.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'm going to have hardback, paperback. I even have large print paperback. But I thought, oh well, ebook's going to be everybody's going to buy the ebook, and then maybe my friends will buy the hard copies. But yeah, probably 2 to 1 paperback to ebook, which has been fascinating to me. I would never have guessed it, but I think it's kind of cool that people still want physical books.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Now, you mentioned you are working on something right now. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it is the second installment that is based off of A Killer Secret. Right now, it's tentatively called A Killer Introduction, although I'm not super happy with the title, but I'm the kind of person that has to just have the title down and then keep rolling. Otherwise, it'll bother me. Uh, so, of the characters that survived that first book, this is just kind of the what happened next. I've got an idea that could turn the thing potentially into a 6-book series, but I don't like to get ahead of myself. And I went into that first book thinking I'll leave it open for more if people like it, if I like writing those characters. And like I said, I just want to stay open to what the universe brings my way.
Sure. You mentioned you have a fairly large family. What do your kids and
Yes.
your wife think about their dad and husband being a writer?
My kids love it. My 6-year-old, he is in first grade, and they occasionally write, very small handwritten books. And so he likes to bring those home and say, I've written more books than you have. Haha. Uh, and he has, he's at least a dozen of those little books so far. Um, my middle schoolers, one of them always introduces me as, oh yeah, that's my dad. He's written 2 books. And my wife is she's not just my muse. She's my first reader. My goal is to entertain her and, write a story that she doesn't guess what's happening and she likes. And then if she likes it, that's great. If I never sell any, but she enjoys it, then that's cool with me.
Yeah,
So
that's beautiful.
yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, do you have any last words that you want to say, like as to where we can find your books, or if you have a website or anything else about you?
Yeah. Find me at jeffberney.com. And like I said, my books are available wide. So they're on Amazon, Apple, Google, Kobo, Barnes and Noble. Um, but you can also buy them directly from my website as well.
Great. Well, it's been a real delight having you on the show and hearing about your books. I hope that you do some more sales. They sound really wonderful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Thanks for having me.
okay. You take care of yourself now.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that's our show for today. If you like what I do here on Tell Me About Your Book, then please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to ring that bell for future notifications. And if you are a self-published author, I would really like to speak with you. Until such time, keep on writing and be kind to one another.